him. Messiah, there are few that be saved. Excuse me. He said, Messiah, are there few that be saved? Now listen, here's a sobering thing. Here's a sobering word right here. He said, Messiah, are there few that be saved? Verse 24, strive to enter at the strait gate. Many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able to. Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? Verse 24, strive to enter at the strait gate. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able to. See, it ain't a game. It ain't a game to be played about. We don't play games with our relationship with Him. We can't play games with it. We cannot let religion stop us from serving Him. We cannot let it stop us. Of course, we don't want our family members and friends upset with us. That's the last thing we want. But I got to tell you something. I ain't going to hell with no family member or no friend. I ain't going to do it. So as He moves us forward in individual lives and as a company of believers, we got to keep going forward. You're going to be attacked. You're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be mocked. People are going to misunderstand what you say. It's going to hurt their feelings, although you don't intentionally want to do it. Because we don't have any choice but to be on a narrow path. We don't have any choice but to stay on the narrow path. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again, the neon lights are bright on Broadway. I've been through New York. I ain't going to say where Bob's at. He knows about New York. But what we have to do is we got to stay on the path. We got to continue to grow. Because if we don't, we'll become stagnant. He said, out of your bellies will flow living water. Out of your bellies will flow living water. Stagnant water, you can't drink it. It'll make you sick. It might even kill you. But living, moving, flowing water is representative of life. We've got to keep moving for Him. We've got to keep growing in Him. Growing in His grace. Growing in His knowledge. We've got to keep studying the Word. And by the way, I'm going to tell you something. I'm to the point right now, I say this in humility, but I'm to the point I am not worried about the criticism of me studying Hebrew. Because I want to be on the straight and narrow gate. I don't have a problem with speaking in English. That's what I'm speaking in English to you tonight. One of the most broke up, butchered up languages ever been created. But at the same time, I'm studying Hebrew, ancient Hebrew. I'm right here in the look. English, Hebrew, and Greek. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, if it's enough for a person to accept it in just the King James, like it was for me for years and years and years. It was me, yeah. But I would do a little studying in the Hebrew, and man, I can't understand this stuff, and I would just put it down. But now's the time that He called me and said, here, it's time, the door has opened for you to understand it. Now walk through it. Here is a door on a narrow gate. Walk through it. So as I use the name Yahweh, as I use the name Yeshua, don't get upset with me. I'm not going to be upset with you using Jesus. Use whatever name you want to. I'm just simply telling you where He's taken me. But the fact of the business remains that you got to grow in Him by getting closer to Him. You got to. You want to be closer to Him, then you got to grow in Him. You got to dig in His Word. You got to study. You know, sometimes I'll take one verse. Sometimes I'll take one verse, and I'll break it down and read it for over and over and over. I'll do the Hebrew study on it, and I'll over and over and over, and it'll just leap off the page of exactly what it means, and I'm like, wow, I never saw this. I saw parts of it, but I never saw this as the way it truly is. Now, I got to move on, because I'm over but I'm going to stay on a little bit longer. Listen, verse 25. When once the master of the house is risen up and hath shut the door, and you begin to knock, you stand without and begin to knock at the door and say, Lord, Lord, open unto us. He shall answer and say unto you, I know you not whence you are. And then there shall begin to say, We've eaten and drinking in thy presence. Thou hast taught in our streets. He'll say, I tell you, I know not whence you are. Depart from me, all you workers of iniquity. Verse 28, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth when you shall see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of Yahweh, and you yourselves thrust out. See, it's not enough. It's not enough. It ain't enough to say you know Him, and you got to live it. It ain't enough to say you know Yahweh. You have got to come by that bloody cross and know Yeshua. And once you accept Yeshua, you ain't got a problem with the commandments of Yahweh. That's just bottom line. That's just bottom line. That's just bottom line. I'm going to shut the book and talk to you in just a few minutes, okay? As I said last night, we just got to take an inventory. We got to take an inventory as individuals. It's not for me to take your inventory. It's not for you to take mine. But we have to take our inventory. We have to look at what's been successes by way of the Creator in the book, and what's been failures by way of us and friends in the world. Then we have to weigh it out on a scale. And we have to ask ourselves, okay, is the failures that I've been in and the worldliness I've been in, is that going to, when the day wraps up and He calls my soul, is that going to help me out? Is that going to ensure that at the judgment seat I'm stamped not guilty? If the world and your own understanding is going to get you not guilty, then run with it. Run with it. But it is absolutely the broad path. But if our daily walking with Him, our examining of our own lives, knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that Yeshua is the written word, and as we examine ourselves by the word, not make up, not twist it. I'm not talking about this NIV movement neither. I'm telling you right now, that's for the birds, but there's many birds that love to fly. But if we'll look at the Word, examine ourselves by the Word, and whatever it is that our problem is, we'll look to Him, the author and finisher of our faith, the great deliverer, and we'll confess it to Him. He's obligated to remove it from us and make us clean. See, because unless we're clean, and unless we have a desire for Him, He is not going to show us the truth. He will not show us the truth. Sure, you're allowed to have and see religion. But ladies and gentlemen, I've got a question for you. What about the religion of the last 30, 40, 50 years, 100 years? How much good has it done? But you've heard of pockets of movement and power because people have sold out from the world, and they've given their life to the Christ, to Yeshua, the Messiah. And they take heed to the words that were just read tonight, and they believe them words, and they apply it. They become applicable in their daily life, and they lay their head on the pillow at night, and they know if they do not wake, then their soul's required, it goes up and not down. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to be cool here and calm. See, it is my hope. It is my prayer that we are His clean people now and in the coming days and months ahead. That we as clean people, that we have, that selling out and being those laborers, that He'll be able to bless the others with the Word. That people will be so hungry for His Word that no theological mess and no man-made tradition and no strife will stop them. But they're going to break forth. It's kind of like the birth pains. 7 kids. I have the seed of 7 children. Some of them are grown and some of them ain't. And I can promise you that just as my wife knows, or has known, she's not pregnant now. Y'all chill out. She's not pregnant. But just as she has known through the birthing of all those children that she has birthed, she knows when it gets time. She knows when the water breaks. She knows when the birth canal process begins and the contractions start. And ladies and gentlemen, if we're preoccupied with everything but what we need to be occupied with, then 2 things are either going to happen. What we have desired to become in Him will be a stillborn, no good child. Or if we turn away from Him, it'll become an abortion rather than a birthing process that He desires. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It's time for each one of us to literally to think about, how are we following? How are we following the Messiah? Are we or are we not laborers that have the plow in both hands and are not looking back? Are we? Only you can answer that question. It's not my job to answer it for you. But it is your job to look between you and the Creator and work it out. Just like it's my job to continually work it out. To make sure that we are on the path we need to be on. Because it's going to be very, very, very important that you and I both are part of the remnant. It's going to be very important that we don't mock His Word. It's going to be very important that we take Him serious. Because if we'll get serious with Him, He'll get serious with us. That's a promise. I'm going to say a prayer and then a few more words and we'll get up out of here and I'll let y'all go. Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, I thank you so much that coming up this Sunday I'm going to celebrate that one of my forefathers, Moses, met you up on the Mount Sinai. And you spoke with him and you gave him words of life, the commandments. And that he came back down with them. Thank you they weren't destroyed. And thank you we have the opportunity. That we have the opportunity to honor those commandments, to love them, and to abide by them and fulfill them through your Son, Yeshua. Pour down your Spirit. Bring revelation, bring understanding, bring power, bring healing, and bring deliverance to this your people. Grow the remnant of you. Save them before it's too late, those that are lost. And I ask for more of your understanding of your word and revelation. Not nothing new, but just what's in your word, because everything's there. I ask you to bless the people that have blessed this ministry. Continue to bless them. Continue to bless me, that we can all be a blessing to each other. In the name of Yeshua I pray. Amen.